You vibrate codes no one can see. They pass through your body, your speech, and your silences, and they are shaping encounters, blockages, and coincidences with mathematical precision. Your aura is not a spiritual accessory. It is a vibrational operating system. 3 invisible laws are currently at work, inside and outside of you. Mentalism, vibration, correspondence. They encode your thoughts into patterns. They transform emotions into an electromagnetic field. And they mirror in the external world what secretly pulses within your field. You feel when something is out of place, but you rarely understand why. Emotional repetitions, sensations that defy explanation, presences that drain you. All of this begins long before consciousness. The origin lies in the vibrational language you transmit. And most people have never learned to read that language. That's why they keep reacting to their own reflection. But when you decode the laws, the reflection changes. And with it, everything that comes near you. Your aura is not passive. It is a transmitter in full operation. And in this video, you will understand what it is saying and what it can transform. 3 laws are modulating your energy at this very moment. They operate behind the scenes of your aura, translating thoughts into frequency and frequency into reality. Mentalism, vibration, correspondence. You don't need to believe in them. Your presence is already responding to these principles at all times. What we're going to explore here connects ancient wisdom to the most recent findings of vibrational science. The emerald tablets of Thoth are not just ancient myths, but keys to decoding your performance in the field. Institutions like the HeartMath Institute already measure the effects of this energetic emission with precision. The field you emanate interferes, organizes, attracts. And understanding this operation allows for much more than energetic protection. It allows for conscious creation. You will access the invisible structure that drives your experience. With logic, with clarity, and with direct application, Mason always knew there was something different about his perception, but it took years to understand what it was. As a child, he couldn't explain why certain environments made him uneasy, even in silence. There were places that seemed to distort the air, as if something invisible was pressing from the inside. He felt it even before opening the door, as if his skin could read the space. Over time, he thought it was just shyness. He avoided crowds, preferred the corner of the room, the opposite side of the crowd. But he couldn't always escape. At parties, meetings, and even at school, he would come home as if he had carried the whole day on his back. At 17, that discomfort turned into curiosity. He wanted to understand why he felt invaded by emotions that weren't his. He began studying energy, spirituality, and consciousness, but nothing seemed to accurately describe what he experienced, until he came across an ancient principle, mentalism. That's when everything began to make sense. The idea that everything is mind, and that the mind creates patterns, rhythms, reflections. His aura, once an uncomfortable mystery, came to be seen as a field in constant dialogue with reality. He realized he didn't just react to the external world, he emitted, and what he felt in environments was, in fact, resonance. Some spaces reflected exactly what he carried inside. Others revealed where he still needed to align. It was by studying the second principle, vibration, that he understood why certain emotions compressed his field. And with correspondence, everything fell into place. Life wasn't happening to him, it was responding to him. It wasn't a gift, nor a curse. It was vibrational reading. And from that moment on, Mason stopped protecting himself from the world, and began adjusting the field that shaped the world around him. In ancient times, long before written language dominated the world. Sages already understood that the human being was surrounded by an invisible field. In ancient Egypt, priests of Thoth studied this field as an extension of the mind of the All. The aura was interpreted as a vibrational mirror of the soul, mutable, intelligent, and directly connected to the cosmos. They said the body could lie, but energy never could. And this energy obeyed laws as precise as the movements of the stars. The first was mentalism. Everything that exists is an expression of the universal mind. They knew that what we think is projected, that ideas don't live only in the brain, but circulate through the field like expanding waves. The second was vibration. Nothing is still, everything vibrates. The aura, in this context, was not static. It pulsed according to internal states, feelings, beliefs. The initiates could identify illnesses, imbalances, and even lies just by reading the vibrational oscillation around the body. And there was also correspondence. As it is within, so it is without. This principle guided all readings of the energy field. If someone's aura was fragmented, they knew their mind was as well. If the field was bright and stable, it was a sign of inner harmony. Moving forward in time, in Hellenistic Greece, esoteric schools like that of Hermes Trismegistus preserved these teachings in the form of symbols and allegories. With the rise of Neoplatonism, the energetic body returned to discussion, though always in a veiled manner. It was too dangerous to speak openly about the true nature of the human being. During the Middle Ages, much of this knowledge was persecuted. Still, alchemists kept encrypted records about the body of light and its influence on human destiny. With the Renaissance, part of this knowledge resurfaced through art and architecture, though still hidden from untrained eyes. And today, although most ignore these roots, the language of the aura continues to operate. It carries memories, traumas, intentions, desires, and responses. It also carries the echoes of these ancestral laws, operating beyond time, beyond culture, beyond belief. Science has only begun to approach this in the last 100 years, but the signs have always been here. The question was never whether this field exists, but why we chose to ignore it for so long. The HeartMath Institute in California conducted studies that proved something surprising. The human heart generates an expansive electromagnetic field that projects several meters away from the body. This field varies according to emotions and thoughts, and directly influences those nearby. It is not a metaphor, it is measurable data. When a person enters emotional coherence, their field organizes itself, and this alignment can be detected in real time by heart rate variability sensors. Dr. Joe Dispenza, in studying states of superconsciousness, showed that synchronized brain and heart fields altered the vibrational structure of the body. The aura, in this context, comes to be understood as a living energy matrix, sensitive to intention and mental focus. It is possible to measure when it is in disorder, and also when it enters expansion. Neuroscience calls this neuroplasticity, associated with emotional self-regulation. Quantum physics calls it the collapse of the wave function. Traditions call it the auric field. Names change. The phenomenon is the same. You are shaping your field with every thought, every emotion, every choice. Let's structure this understanding into 3 fundamental keys. 3 principles that, when applied, transform your aura from an unconscious reflection into a conscious instrument of manifestation. They are not theoretical steps. They are living, vibrational codes, operating right now within and around you. Key 1. Mentalism. The vibrational origin of reality begins in the mind. Everything that exists was first conceived as an idea. Your aura does not function independently of your consciousness. It is the vibrational extension of your dominant thoughts, recurring beliefs, and internal images. Every time you repeat a thought, it crystallizes in the field. And the more emotion you invest in that thought, the more vibrational mass it gains. The result, your field reorganizes to reflect that programming. When heavy thoughts are constant, the field compresses. When there is clarity, focus, and coherence, it expands. That is why the first point of intervention is not outside, it is in the mental core. Before any energetic technique, ask yourself, what pattern am I feeding with my attention? What mental image am I transmitting without realizing it? And more importantly, is this vibrating in alignment with what I want to create? The aura begins to change when the mind stops operating on autopilot. At this point, vibration ceases to be noise and becomes coded intention. Key to vibration, the emotional pulse that defines the shape of your field. Everything in the universe vibrates, and your aura is the direct reflection of your predominant emotional frequency. It is not enough to think positively if your body vibrates fear. The coherence between mind and emotion is what defines the vibrational signature you emit. And that signature is what the universe listens to. You can affirm 1,000 times that you are abundant, but if you feel scarcity, it is scarcity that vibrates. True vibration is silent, but impactful. It translates into the way you enter a space, in the way people respond to your presence, in the ease or resistance of life's flows. Emotional states like gratitude, presence, and trust expand the field and generate harmony. Meanwhile, emotions like guilt, resentment, and anxiety create distortions that fragment the energetic flow. The secret is not to suppress emotions, but to transmute them, to recognize, to welcome, to breathe, and to release. Your field is shaped in real time by what you feel and by how long you keep feeling it. Technique for today. Pause 3 times throughout the day and ask yourself honestly, this emotion vibrating in me right now, is it compatible with the reality I want to manifest? This simple gesture realigns your center, because the most stable vibration always wins. Key 3. Correspondence, the external reflection of your internal architecture. Reality doesn't happen from the outside in. It mirrors, with absolute precision, the vibrational state you carry. Everything that comes to you carries a signature compatible with what you're emitting. Relationships, opportunities, challenges, repeated patterns. Your aura acts like a magnetic field, filtering what can or cannot approach. And that filter is determined by your internal configuration. That's why changing the external without touching the internal is like wiping the mirror and leaving your face dirty. Correspondence is law. That's why environments change when you change, why people leave when you rise, and why cycles end when you learn. Nothing happens by chance. Everything responds. The practical application of this key begins with vibrational vigilance, observing what repeats out there as a reflection of what still vibrates in here. And instead of blaming the world, adjusting the field. The aura doesn't negotiate with words. It responds to the real frequency. And when your frequency aligns with consciousness, presence, and intention, the world stops being a testing ground and becomes a mirror of creation. When Mason began applying the 3 principles, he wasn't seeking miracles, he was seeking clarity. For years, he tried to change external situations. He moved cities, changed jobs, changed social circles, but the same patterns kept returning. Short relationships, the feeling of being misunderstood, environments that drained him. That's when he decided to stop looking outward. He began with mentalism. He started observing the automatic thoughts that arose as soon as he woke up. He realized that, before even getting out of bed, he was already vibrating rejection and scarcity. He rewrote his internal dialogue. He replaced fear-based phrases with silent affirmations of presence and power. Next, he applied the key of vibration. With each heavy emotion, he took a deep breath, recognized it, welcomed it, and consciously dissolved it. He discovered that vibration doesn't hide, it imposes itself. And he realized that feeling deeply was more transformative than running from emotions. Finally came correspondence. He stopped complaining about the reflections. He began observing them as vibrational feedback. And with each new alignment, the world responded with something that had never appeared before. People started behaving differently around him, even without knowing why. Clients who were once difficult became cooperative. Deep conversations began to happen spontaneously. Situations that used to drain him simply stopped showing up. The field was different, and the world noticed. Mason didn't control everything around him, but he began to influence everything that came near. Not through effort, but through coherence. He understood that true change made no noise. It began silently, in the alignment of mind with emotion and emotion with presence. And when that alignment happened, the aura became a magnetic field of manifestation. It wasn't about thinking positively, nor about ignoring pain. It was about vibrating with awareness. And the result was visible, concrete, measurable. No ready-made formulas, no empty rituals. Just a human being adjusting their frequency and witnessing the universe respond with precision. There are those who ask, is all of this really real? Doubt arises when the invisible challenges common sense. But reality doesn't need to be visible to have an impact. Frequency is silent, and yet it moves entire structures. Physics has already shown that fields affect particles even before contact. In the same way, your aura influences events before they happen. It's not belief, it's pattern, and patterns are not sustained by chance. They follow rhythm, response, vibrational logic. Observing what repeats is already an experiment. And when the vibration changes, the effects change as well. Doubt ends when the experience asserts itself. Now you're going to directly experience what has been presented so far. This exercise was created to align mind, emotion, and field into a single vibrational flow. Find a quiet place where you won't be interrupted for the next 2 minutes. Sit with your spine upright and gently close your eyes. Allow your breath to become the center of your attention. Step 1. Inhale through your nose for 4 seconds, hold for 4, and exhale slowly through your mouth for 6. Repeat this cycle 3 times. Step 2. Bring your attention to the center of your chest. Visualize a sphere of light expanding with each breath. Step 3. Bring to mind an image of balance. It could be a calm place, a serene memory, or a personal symbol of harmony. Step 4. While holding that image, repeat mentally, I radiate coherence, I vibrate alignment. Step 5. Feel the space around your body responding, as if the air becomes denser, more alive. Step 6. Remain in this sensation for 3 more conscious breaths. Now, slowly move your fingers and toes and open your eyes. Observe your surroundings. Notice how perception shifts when your vibration is intentional. This practice can be done daily. The secret lies in consistency and presence, because it is this repeated vibration, day after day, that shapes your reality. And now that you've experienced the impact of a simple shift in state, let's remember the 3 principles that support all this transformation. Key 1. Mentalism. Reality begins where your mind rests. Key 2. Vibration. Your emotions are the pulse that shapes the field. Key 3. Correspondence. What you vibrate inside, the world mirrors outside. They don't act separately. They are interconnected layers of the same code. A code that lives, pulses, and organizes itself through you. Everything your aura reveals is an invitation to clarity. It is not around you by chance. It is you on the outside. An extension of your mind, a language of your feeling, a mirror of your choices. And when you understand that, the world stops being a stage and becomes a consequence. It's not about accumulating theory, but about inhabiting vibration with awareness. Your presence is the bridge between the invisible and the manifested, and that bridge pulses with everything you hold within. Scattered thoughts create noise. Repressed emotions generate distortions. But when there is vibrational coherence, the field reorganizes with precision. Rudolf Steiner once said, "The aura of a person is the portrait of what they have become through their inner experiences." That portrait is constantly being rewritten, not with words, but with energy sustained in daily life. Each silent choice you make shapes a new form around your body. That's where your reality begins to be molded, in the vibration you embody even when no one is watching. To transform the aura is to transform the world from the center outward. Because when the field aligns, nothing remains the same. Everything repositions around your frequency. And when you vibrate with truth, the universe responds with miracles. If this content resonated with you, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Share it with someone whose energy deserves to be deeply understood. In the comments, write, "My aura vibrates in coherence with the all." This phrase anchors the transformation you began to activate here. And now, click the screen to watch another transformative video from the channel. The next step is already within your reach. Remember, your aura is a silent gesture of consciousness. It organizes the world without saying a word. Cultivate intention, consistency, and presence. Because where your vibration stands firm, reality restructures itself.